What's up, movie lovers? So, I recently saw this movie called Sympathy for the Devil, starring Nicolas Cage and Joel Kinnaman. Now, I'm going to be a little biased. The reason I want to see this movie was not just because of its storyline, but also because the movie itself takes place in Las Vegas. So, naturally, any movie that takes place where I live, I have to see. So, we have the character of David, who is going to be a soon to be dad, and right now he's actually on his way to the hospital to see his wife, who is actually about to give birth. And here comes Nicolas Cage just opening the back door and calmly entering the car as if he's like an Uber passenger, and he tells David to drive. Now, in any normal circumstance, you would of course tell the stranger to get the hell out of your car. But of course, once the stranger pulls out a gun and tells you to drive, I mean, at that point, you don't really have a choice. If Nicolas Cage whips out a gun, he points it at you and tells you to drive, you are for sure going to drive. His character's name is not revealed yet, so we're just gonna call him the passenger. Now, as they're driving to God knows where, the passenger tries to get to know David on a personal level. He finds pictures of his wife's previous pregnancy because at the beginning of the film, it's established that David and his wife tried to have a baby a long time ago, but because his wife had a miscarriage, they're actually hoping they're able to have another baby. Now, so far, if this plot sounds too familiar, it is because it really reminded me of the movie Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. It's almost essentially the same story so far, where Tom Cruise is like an assassin and he orders Jamie Foxx to drive around Los Angeles so he could kill some people. Now, naturally, David does try to escape multiple times. He tried to warn someone at a gas station when they were stopping to get gas. He even tries to get the cop's attention by going over the speed limit, but when the cop pulls them over, the passenger shoots him dead. David even tried to escape by rolling out his car. That plan backfired because his wife calls his phone, and the passenger picks it up and he finds out where his wife's location is. So pretty much if the driver does not continue driving, then the passenger will go to the hospital where his wife's at and he will shoot her dead. Now, at the end of the movie, they do end up at a diner, and that's where the passenger pretty much tells David the real reason he kidnapped him. So apparently, the passenger, he's actually a bookkeeper that works for the mob back in Boston. He also had a family of his own. He had a wife and he had a daughter. Unfortunately, his wife witnessed a murder that she wasn't supposed to see, and his boss ordered the execution of his wife. And guess who was ordered to take out the execution? David. Except David's name is not actually David. His real name is James, and he also worked for the same boss that the passenger worked for. So pretty much the passenger wants to kill David, or James, because James killed his family a long time ago back in Boston. Now, when the passenger tried to get James to admit his real identity, James, he kept denying it. He's pretty much saying he got the wrong guy. But at the end of the movie, when they're being chased by the cops, and with the passenger's gun to James's head, James says, yeah, the boss that we both work for, he's the one that ordered me to kill your wife. So in the very last scene, James purposely crashes the car and he chokes the passenger to death before the cops arrive. And his wife calls him, telling him that the birth was successful and that they're going to have a baby girl. Overall, I thought this movie was very predictable at moments because every time Joel Kinnaman's character kept denying who he really was, he was trying to fool the audience by making us think that maybe he's really not the person that the passenger is looking for, like maybe he got the wrong guy. But as he kept denying it throughout the movie, like at some point I knew that this guy was lying out his ass. Nicolas Cage, his acting was top notch, a bit over the top, but I have to realize what his character has been through. And this might be me just nitpicking this movie a little bit, but I thought there would be a lot more scenes with Las Vegas in the picture. But most of the movie took place in a car, so I guess that's okay. I'm only saying that because I live here, so I wanted to see more of the strip just because it's my home. Now, of course, as I've mentioned, if you've seen the movie Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, the vibe is essentially the same. Like you have a killer in the back of a car ordering a driver to drive around the city. So all in all, you're not really missing much in terms of plot because it's something that we've all seen before. But Nicolas Cage's acting was good enough for me to watch this movie. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching my video. Until next time, movie lovers. Peace.